Your feed is about to be flooded with Sephora recommendations videos because the sale is right around the corner. And listen, I love those videos. I probably will end up making my own as well because I do think it's nice to know what people think is actually worth the money when it comes to higher end purchases. But before those videos start rolling out, I wanted to share what I think are some overhyped, overrated viral makeup launches. A lot of these are newer. You might have seen people talking about them. Maybe you haven't. These are just products that I either regret spending my money on, or if I received them in the mail as PR and I had, purchased them with my own money, I would have regretted spending my money on them. I just don't think they're worth the money at the full price point or even at a sale price point. I think there are other high-end makeup products, other drugstore products that perform much, much better. So I thought I would share them with you in today's video and just kind of chat about them. Also, quick disclaimer, I know these videos are not for everyone. Some people find them to be a little bit negative, but because I share so many products, I love my recommendations. I like to balance it out with products that didn't work for me personally. In case we have the same makeup preferences or the same skin types, then maybe this will help you, skip products that you might regret as well. If there are some pros, which there are pros to a lot of these products, I'll be sure to share those as well in case you think these might end up working out for you. Okay, the first product is something that I did go back and forth on for a little while. I really wanted to put this one to the test because at first I really loved it, then I wasn't sure. There were days where I didn't like it, and in the end, I just don't think it's really worth the money. I think there are other similar products out there that perform just as great, if not better, for a less expensive price. So this is a little bit newer from One Size. It is their Boucle Cellulose Airbrushed Powder, and it retails for $40. Listen, I know there are a lot of brands that charge $40 for a powder, but $40 just feels so expensive for one powder in my mind. So I did get this in the mail as PR. They sent me two shades, fair and light. I will say that I can really reach for either one. So I do think it is flexible in terms of the shade that you choose, within reason, but it is more of a sheer powder. So they describe this as a baked finishing powder that creates an all-over airbrushed silk finish. I would say that it is very lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy or look cakey on the skin, but I also don't really get like that true silk airbrushed finish like they describe. For $40, I think I was just expecting a little bit more. I've tried it all different ways. Now they do market it as a finishing powder, so that's how I'm typically using it, and that's mainly how I'll review it. But I've also tried it as a setting powder as well because it is super lightweight. I think there are people out there who might like it as a setting powder, but I think when I think of a finishing powder, I just think of something that's really going to perfect my makeup. And when I'm all done with my makeup, if I feel like I could use a little extra blending or just like that last step, I'm typically not thinking like, oh, where's my One Size powder? I really need that to, finish my makeup and perfect everything. It's okay. It definitely works to diffuse all of the powders on my skin, and it does give me a little bit more of like a fully finished look. It doesn't look incredibly glowy on the skin. Like if you've tried the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder, that one gives the skin a true glow, whereas this one just looks more subtle overall. So I think that might appeal to some people. But again, I feel like for $40, I'm typically just expecting something a little bit more out of a powder. If you have any other finishing powders that you think really do make a big difference, drugstore or high end, please let us know in the comments. I definitely don't think this is the worst powder I've ever tried. I just don't think it's special enough or it creates, a significant enough difference to be worth the price point. I also think the packaging is a little bit cheap. I did travel with mine and mine stayed intact. It didn't break or anything like that. But for $40, it just doesn't really feel like the most luxurious packaging if that's something that makes a difference to you. Another somewhat popular product that just feels kind of overpriced to me and feels a little bit underwhelming is this blush from Ilia. This is their Soft Focus Blurring Blush. I will be the first to admit that anytime a brand launches something and they really highlight the fact that it's blurring, it's smoothing, it gives you an airbrush finish, I immediately fall for it. And I know a lot of the time it is marketing, but I also feel like brands have been launching some really great blurring complexion products and cheek products lately. I haven't tried a ton of products from Ilia, but I just thought this blush looked interesting and the shades are really, really beautiful. Now I do have the lightest one, so you might have a different experience depending on which shade you choose because they do have some brighter options, they have some deeper options. I do think this color is pretty. It's in the shade Glimpse, but there's almost like a pink iridescence to it. And initially I thought maybe it was just like an overspray, but as I've been using this product, I feel like it actually goes all the way down into the blush. That isn't the most flattering on my skin. So again, because I only have one shade, I'm not sure if that's the case with the other shades as well. And because it is meant to be a blurring blush, I automatically feel like it's going to be less blurring or less flattering if there is like some sort of shimmer or glitter mixed in. That comes down to personal preference. And I do have some shimmery blushes that I think are really blurring on the skin, but typically shimmer or micro glitter can tend to highlight texture and then automatically kind of overshadow any type of blurring property that's within the base of the blush. As for the formula, this goes on nicely. It doesn't look patchy or uneven at all, and it is pretty soft on the skin. I think, again, if you were to choose a brighter or deeper option, you're going to get a little bit more of an intense application experience. Whereas with this one, it does look pretty soft. I am wearing it today, but I do have a little bit of another blush underneath for more color. And then I applied this on top. And I do think it looks pretty, but typically if I'm using this product, I don't really get that super blurred, smooth finish. I was scrolling through Sephora's website and immediately I saw like 5 other newer blushes that I consider to be much more that I consider to do a better job in the blurring department. The Kosas baked blushes, I mean, those aren't brand new, but those are much more blurring and they do give your skin a little bit of a glow. The Tower 28 matte blushes do a better job with blurring. I mean, some of my other favorites like Patrick Ta, the Rare Beauty blushes, like I really can name so many blushes off the top of my head that I think do a better job in the blurring department. So if that is why you're choosing this blush, I might reconsider and maybe reach for a different option. Again, $36 is a lot for a blush. And again, it's not the worst formula out there, but I just don't think it's special enough to maybe warrant that high-end price tag or have a like coveted spot on your loves list. And again, I'm not a packaging snob by any means, but typically when I am buying a higher end product, I expect the packaging to feel a little bit nicer than maybe like a $5 blush at the drugstore. This does the job. I like the fact that it's sleek, it's small, the outer colors do represent the shades inside, but for $36, it just feels a little bit cheap. So just something I wanted to point out. Let's talk about a few eyeshadow palettes. I feel like a lot of the brands have been saving their eyeshadow palette launches for the end of the year. Natasha Denona just launched 2. I did purchase one of those, and I have to say I really enjoy it. I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video. And then Makeup by Mario launched one. Patrick Ta launched a few. I actually don't think these are brand new, but I wanted to review them for you, or I guess talk about them in today's video because I did get them in the mail as PR, so I tested them out. They're from Hourglass. They are $68, but they're eyeshadow quads. They're not even like full palettes with a ton of different options. So I have 2 that I've been testing out. This one is Realist. It's a little bit lighter. It has like some peachier tones in it. And then the one that I'm wearing today with like a shimmer shadow from Tower 28 on top is the Minimalist palette, which is a fully matte neutral palette. So again, the price point, $68 for 4 shadows. That breaks down to be $17 a shadow. And these don't even feel like particularly large shadows. So maybe you're thinking, well, it's like a quad that I would use every single day. I feel like you might end up hitting pan on these fairly quickly, especially the matte shadows. The matte shadows are very creamy. They're really easy to blend out. So the formula isn't bad. Honestly, I wanted to hate these so I could be like, they are just absolutely not worth the money in any world. But the matte shadows are very, very beautiful. So I feel like if you tried the matte shadows, you would probably enjoy them. The shimmer shadows, in my opinion, are very, very underwhelming. There are so many other formulas out there that are significantly better. So if you are considering one of these quads, I would maybe go for a fully matte quad rather than one that has a mix of mattes and shimmers. Even though I do think the matte formula is nice and it performs very well, I just don't think I can really say these are worth $68. Now, my favorite formula ever is Natasha Denona's formula. And again, personal preference, of course, but Natasha Denona sells a 5-pan palette. This is her mini eye sculpt palette for what is it? I just double checked. This palette is $27 and it comes with 5 matte neutral eyeshadows. You get 0.14 ounces of product in here. This Hourglass palette, again, $68 and it comes with less product, 0.12 ounces of product. $27 versus $68. You get 5 shadows and slightly more product in here. That is actually blowing my mind a little bit because I've always considered Natasha Denona's formula like my absolute favorite, best of the best. Her palettes can be a little bit more expensive. And for some people, $27 for 5 shadows is still a lot of money to spend. But I'm telling you, if you need a good staple mini palette, I would highly recommend this one. one over Hourglass, not just because of the price point, but I do think her formula is easier to work with. It's more blendable, it's creamier, more intense on the eyes. Again, this is not a bad formula at all. The shadows blend really beautifully on the eyes. I think they look really nice, but I do not understand how they reached this price point. I know Hourglass is considered to be a luxury brand. I like a lot of their products. Their concealer is beautiful, their blushes are great, their powders are nice, but I just don't think you need to buy this eyeshadow quad. I know Hourglass sells single shadows for $30 each, and maybe you're like, I love those shadows so much. So to you, getting a quad for $68 would be a steal compared to spending $120 on 4 single shadows. I don't know if they are the exact same formula or if you get the same exact amount within this quad, but if that's the case, you know, it might be worth it to you personally. I just think there are so many other better formulas out there where you can get more product, more shades for a much less expensive price. I do have another palette to talk about. This one is from Urban Decay. I think the packaging looks really pretty. Again, it does feel cheap. I don't mean to make this video all about packaging, but I know for a lot of people, when you're spending your money at Sephora, sometimes it's because you do want a little bit of an elevated experience when it comes to application or formula or packaging. So that can make a big difference to people. This is their new naked shaped multitasking palette. So they did a warm version and then a cooler version. I do have the cool version. This retails for $56. I know we've normalized like $50, $60, $70 eyeshadow palettes, but $56 is still a lot of money to spend on an eyeshadow palette. And I just don't think this one is worth the money. I don't think it's their best palette. First of all, the packaging slides up. So for some people, they don't like that because it doesn't come with a mirror. Just based on reviews I've seen, comments I've read, I don't necessarily mind that it doesn't have a mirror because I feel like pretty much all of my products have a mirror these days. But if that does matter to you, something to take into consideration. So this is a multitasking palette. They say you can use it in different ways. You can use it to sculpt the face, you can use it for the brows, you can use it to contour, whether you're doing the eyes or the face. So there are creams in here and powders. Mine did break in transit. I did get this in the mail as PR. This shadow right here shattered. So you kind of see like some shimmer mixed in. One big issue I have with this is that the creams are not separated. So I do find that, you know, as I'm using some of the powders around it, a little bit of fallout has a tendency to kind of make its way into the creams. So I wish they just put like a little kind of like plastic flap over it, maybe something that opened in the center to protect the creams. As for the tones in here, I do think they're pretty. They're very soft, very muted. I like that it's not like a fully gray palette like a lot of other cooler toned palettes can lean. And I do think they could be very flattering on you depending on your skin tone, your personal preferences. The matte shadows in here are actually very, very nice. Probably some of Urban Decay's best work, to be honest. They're very silky, very smooth. They blend out very easily. The shimmers in here, like these 2 shadows right here and these 2 up here, are pretty underwhelming. I just feel like they're lackluster. They kind of look like soft satins, but they feel kind of dry. They're hard to build up. They really aren't the best in my opinion. And then the creams are definitely softer. You're not going to get a ton of intensity with these creams, which you might prefer if you're looking to do like some soft sculpting. But if you're looking for something that's pretty rich and intense, like the Patrick Ta creams, you're not going to get that out of this palette. I do think this shadow right here, the one that shattered on me, is really pretty. It definitely helps to create kind of like a wet, almost intense look on the eyes. So I love using that in the center of my eye look. I think there are people out there who will enjoy this palette. I know there are. I've read a few comments on my videos from some of you saying that you love it. It's kind of become your go-to, but I've also read comments from people saying the packaging just feels so cheap and the eyeshadows are pretty underwhelming. So I would say if you are like a die-hard Urban Decay naked eyeshadow fan, if that is like all you use and you kind of like the idea of some softer tones for everyday wear, maybe you don't want super rich, intense creams, this palette could appeal to you. I think overall, if you have a lot of different options in your collection and you're looking for a formula that really is exceptional, I would probably skip over it because I just don't think it's going to be anything that really wows you. While we're on the topic of eyes, let's talk about the new Kosas Soulgazer mascara. This mascara is getting so much hype online. People are raving about it. It's gone viral. Everyone is saying it's their absolute favorite. And I have to say, when it comes to mascara, I feel like mascara experiences can differ so much. much. And, you know, that's the case with any makeup product, but especially mascara. If you're scrolling through reviews, you will see like a 5-star review saying it's the best mascara ever. It's their holy grail. They'll never use another one. And then the next review will be 1, and it will be like, if I could give this 0 stars, I would. And that can happen with anything because we're all different. And what we look for in makeup products can vary so much. But I feel like that is mainly the case when it comes to mascara. So maybe you really love this. And if that's the case, I mean, I can maybe understand why. So I like the wand. It is a plastic bristle wand. It's shaped like an hourglass. So I feel like it does apply the product well. You can kind of get in at the base of your lashes really easily and pull this all the way through to the ends. Now, their main claim with this mascara is that it provides length, and it does. So I think it lives up to the hype in that area. I definitely don't experience any clumping with this mascara. It does a good job, you know, combing through and applying the lashes, or applying the mascara to the lashes separately. So if you are looking for length without any clumping, I can definitely see this becoming a staple for you. It doesn't flake or smudge on me, which is really great. And they do say it is sensitive for they do say it's safe for sensitive eyes. I don't experience any irritation, and my eyes are pretty sensitive. So all of those claims definitely ring true with this mascara. My issue is that it really doesn't provide any volume at all. And while it doesn't claim to be a super volumizing, dramatic mascara, I feel like it is one of the least volumizing mascaras I've ever tried. So for me, I usually like a little bit of volume along with my length, and I just don't get that with this formula. Because it does such a great job like combing out any clumps, I feel like it takes a lot of the bulk of the mascara with it. So it almost makes my lashes look significantly thinner than they do with any other formula I've tried. If you already have thick lashes, you might not necessarily care about the fact that it doesn't provide a ton of volume, and maybe you're just looking for length. And again, if that's the case, I think it is a really good formula when it comes down to that. But if you are looking for volume and length, I would probably skip over this one. I usually end up, you know, using this mascara and then taking another one. Like today I used it, and then I used the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect on top to add like more drama to my lashes. So again, for a high-end mascara, I personally don't think it's worth the money, but that comes down to personal preference for sure. They also say this has like a lash boosting serum. So after like 6 to 8 weeks, you're supposed to notice a difference in the length of your lashes. I can't speak to that because I haven't used this exclusively, again, just because it isn't my favorite formula. But if you love it, I mean, I feel like that is kind of a nice added benefit that a lot of brands seem to be doing these days. If you watch my videos, you might know that the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Gloss is my favorite formula ever. I think it just looks so beautiful on the lips. It plumps them up. It makes them look smooth and glossy and gorgeous. And that is a formula I truly think is worth the money at Sephora. I have quite a few of them. I kind of went back and forth on trying the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Balm for a little while. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be worth the money or not. And I got so many mixed opinions in my videos. Like some people were like, don't try it, it's really bad. And some people were like, I love it, it's my favorite. So I did finally try it. I have the shade Cherry Vanilla, which I will say is very, very sheer. It does tint my lips a little bit, which was kind of nice for like, you know, the summertime because there's like a little bit of a red tint there. It's nothing too intense, but this is so dry on my lips, which makes me wonder, like, did I get it and it was older, so it was kind of dried out? I really don't understand because it doesn't even go on that nicely initially. Like it's not buttery or smooth or super glossy. When I was applying it, I'm like, oh, does mine have, like, do I have to like work through the initial layer for it to feel good? I think I was expecting it to feel like a little bit more balmy, and it doesn't. It's like a hard kind of waxy product, and then it doesn't really last on my lips very well at all. And once it actually wears off, my lips feel so dry, like it actively dries my lips out. So I really don't think this product is worth the money at all. I would not recommend spending your money on it. $26 is a lot for a lip balm, especially one that doesn't feel good, that doesn't look good, and that, you know, completely dries your lips out. This was so surprising to me because I love their glosses so much. I don't think this one is worth the money. I do think their glosses are worth it though. Another lip product that I really don't recommend trying is this one from Milk Makeup. Now these are fairly inexpensive compared to other lip balms at Sephora. These are $18. So obviously more expensive than like a drugstore lip balm, but a lot of Sephora lip balms are like $25. So these, I was like, oh, that's a great price point. The actual formula feels great when you apply it to the lips. It kind of has almost like this oily, glossy texture. It's very, very thin. It looks so juicy, so gorgeous, but it doesn't last. I almost think they made it like too oily, too glossy because it wears off so fast. And again, once it wears off, my lips still feel really dry. I think, you know, there's something to be said about a lip balm feeling great while it's on, but if it doesn't do anything in terms of like actually moisturizing my lips, then I just don't see the point in it, because that in my mind is the entire point of a lip balm. I will say that overall these are very, very sheer. If you look at the photos online, like the way these look on the models, they do look a little bit more intense. So if you're going to try one, I would just keep in mind that it will probably end up being a little bit lighter once you actually get it. Some of them have slightly more pigment, so honestly, I would look up swatches online before you pick them up, but I really don't think you need to buy like all of them, because even if they look a little bit different in the swatches, on the lips, they end up looking kind of similar. They smell so good. That is the issue. Like, they're so glossy, so beautiful. I love everything about like the actual application experience. They don't last. The other issue is that they really separate in the tube. Like, I haven't had mine for very long, and all three of them are separated within the tube. But even before that, I think I had them for maybe like 2 weeks, or not even 2 weeks before I started to notice that. So I feel like you have to kind of like mix them back together by like squeezing them in the tube, and then even then they do look separated. So I don't know if that's an indication that they have expired. Typically I would think that, but they are like a brand new launch, and it does make a difference if it's one that has a little bit more pigment. Like this one is in the shade Quench. It's this shade right here. Like when it's really separated, it will almost come out completely clear rather than having like a hint of color. So Urban Decay redid their iconic all-nighter setting spray. I have the matte version here with me, and there was a lot of drama surrounding this online. You know, Scandinavia is the brand that they've partnered with for all these years, and if you really want to look into it, I mean, I probably can't really give like the best explanation, but essentially Scandinavia has a patent on like either a certain ingredient or a certain formula, whatever creates like that cooling effect to the skin, which keeps your makeup from melting down and staying in place well. So Urban Decay decided to end the partnership. From what it sounds like, Scandinavia was kind of blindsided. Again, you can look into all of the drama if that's something that really interests you. And Scandinavia does sell their setting sprays, their priming sprays on their website. So if you're still interested in that original formula, you can purchase directly from Scandinavia. So Urban Decay reformulated, and I'm not 100% sure how the formulas completely differ, like when it comes down to ingredients and formula, but I did test out this one. And to be honest, it doesn't feel a lot different than the original one, but I've read a ton of reviews online from people saying their makeup does not hold up as well with this newer version compared to the original. It's been a long time. Well, not a long time, but yeah, I mean, it's probably been like a year since the Urban Decay All Nighter was like my go-to setting spray, because this year I discovered the One Size setting spray, and that one locks my makeup into place way better than Urban Decay. And I've also found like a lot of drugstore alternatives. The LA Girl oil controlling setting spray does an amazing job, and the mist on that one is significantly better than this. I will say, whatever they did to the nozzle, I'm assuming they didn't switch the nozzle up, but it doesn't spray out as nicely. Either that, or at this point, I've tried so many other alternatives out there that just spray better on the skin that when I went back to this one, I was like, this is actually not the greatest. So whether or not the formula is that different from the original, I just don't think this one is really worth the hype any longer. I think at one point, Urban Decay's formula was like the go-to formula. It was the best of the best. There was nothing that really compared. And now in 2025, like there are so many other alternatives out there that you could go with a drugstore option or a high-end option and find a formula that works just as great, if not better. And again, just sprays out a little bit more, a little bit better. What am I trying to say? Like, that just feels better on the skin. I mean, that makes a difference, both in the way it feels, but also the way the setting spray applies to your face. Because if it doesn't have like a super fine, even mist, I feel like your makeup won't look as good. So in the end, I feel like this formula is fine. I just don't find it to be exceptional. And if you are not interested in buying Urban Decay because of all of the drama that went down, if you want like the original formula or that original like patented technology, I would probably purchase directly from Scandinavia's website. Okay, last one. I know I've talked about this, but it was such a disappointment. And if I can save you, what was it? The $24, I want to do that. This is from Day. It's their Dream Veil Hair and Body Fragrance Mist. It smells so good. I love the way this smells, and that's why I still use it. I spray it all the time, just hoping for the best. And it smells so good. It really does. It smells just like the hair cream, but maybe a little bit more like orangey. It has the perfect like creamsicle scent to it. The keynotes are sparkling citrus, dewy orange blossom, warm vanilla. Like this is my summertime fragrance dream, but it doesn't last. It doesn't last more than like 3 minutes on me. I will spray this all over, I'll walk out the door, and it's completely gone. I was surprised because the styling cream, like that scent lingers. I can apply that to my hair, and then if I don't wash my hair like the next day, it still smells so good. But that is not the case with this, unfortunately. They captured the scent perfectly. The longevity is just not there. And I know body sprays don't last as long as like a true perfume, but this one doesn't last at all. Let this be my warning to you. I know the Sephora sale is almost here. Maybe you're thinking like, oh, with a little bit of a discount, I might as well try it. It'll be worth the money. Yeah, you'll get sucked in because the scent is amazing. The description is so accurate. Like everything about this is so good. Love the mist, love the packaging. It just does not last, unfortunately. If they come out with a perfume version of this, I'm going to try it because again, this is like my dream scent. It smells so good, but I just for $24, like something that basically disappears the second you walk out the door. I told you in my original video, like I don't return a lot of products because I talk about like favorites and fails in videos. I was planning on returning this, but I was like, no, it will work. There's something I can do, and it doesn't, sadly. So that's it for today's video. All of the products that I wanted to talk about. I would love to know what you think about these. If you love them or if you hate them, let us know in the comments below. Obviously, if these products work for you, I'm really glad because it sucks spending your money on makeup, drugstore or high-end, for it to be a complete fail. Like I never try something hoping it won't work out, but when it comes down to it, not everything can be a winner, not everything can be a favorite. So I like to share those with you as well. I will put a couple of other related videos on the screen if you want to check out another one, but otherwise I'll see you soon with a new video. Bye.